Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd, and welcome to Total War Warhammer, or Total Warhammer as it logically should be, but they just don't let me name these things. I'm guessing both the Total War team and the Warhammer team are probably trademarks, therefore it's not allowed to be Total Warhammer, because then neither Total War nor Warhammer as a single individual entity would work, and then you couldn't have Warhammer in the right font, and that's probably a brand thing. Never mind, it's Total War Warhammer apparently, and Total War is one of the, I think it's actually probably the most common request I get, because I did a very small amount of Rome Total War back in the day, and I will do more, don't worry, one day I will do some more indeed. But Total War Warhammer, well, I've managed to get hold of this just a little bit early for you. I believe this comes out on next Tuesday. But yes, I've got my hands into a little bit early, and I've been told I am allowed to share it with you. So, let's experience some Total War Warhammer. Now, fair warning here, I've never actually been a massive Warhammer player. Some of these factions are relatively unknown to me. But, you know, I'm sure I can roughly figure this out. The Empire are humans, they're dicks. The Dwarves are dwarves, they live underground, something to do with gold. Greenskins are orcs. Depending on which version we're going in, they're either kind of huge, hulking, brutish beasts, or possibly they're kind of slightly savage, but basically noble, depending on which route we're going down here. And vampire counts are probably evil, fine. So one thing I do quite like here is of the 4 starting factions, and I'm assuming we will unlock more, like typical Total War faction is if you defeat a faction in a campaign, you then get to subsequently go on to play as it next time if you want, and there'll probably be a load more in DLC as well, because I noticed there's no real mention of elves so far, so I'm sure they'll be showing up later. But one thing I do really like is the factions all have different mechanics, so playing as each faction is very different, which is quite nice. So the humans over here, for example, have a kind of a unique mechanic of officers, where lords, i.e. your generals, can be assigned to officers, granting them unique titles and bonuses. Kind of a bit like was actually in the Roman factions of Rome, the original Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion. I'm not sure you could choose to assign officers, it just kind of got assigned at random. And yeah, in the original Rome Total War there was the Senate officers, which were good, but again, they kind of got assigned like at random, or rather based on how much the Senate liked you, so it wasn't really kind of like chosen, so it's nice that you can kind of select those. Whereas like the dwarves have grudges, so enemy actions result in grudge missions, and you have to kind of complete enough of those, otherwise you won't actually be allowed to ultimately win. The greenskins have got this stuff called fightiness, so basically if an army keeps fighting and winning, then that's all fine, and they kind of spawn extra computer-controlled reinforcements, but if actually you don't do much, i.e. you know, you're too passive, then actually they start turning on each other and damaging themselves, which is kind of cool. And the vampire counts I think are the most complicated. They've got some interesting new mechanics around like raising the dead, so like rather than just recruiting normally, although they can recruit normally pretty much, they kind of also raise the dead on battlefields, so therefore they've kind of got to find good battlefields to raise good units, and there's corruption because they can't walk on normal land, they've got to corrupt the land first, so that's probably the most complicated of the factions. But what I did notice just from looking over like the unit rosters is it's the Empire that's got the long range stuff. I was originally planning to play as like the vampire counts, but they appear to have like basically no range whatsoever. They're entirely like based on like close quarters stuff, which I don't really like. Like I really like playing as say England in Medieval 2 Total War because I like all the archers and stuff, and the Empire have got all of the long range stuff. So I'm going to play as the Empire. Now, the other thing we get, however, is a choice of lords. You can choose who your faction leader is, and faction leaders matter a lot more than they ever used to, because faction leaders are, well, kind of in traditional Total War, a faction leader is mostly just a group of really strong cavalry. Very useful, and certainly a single unit of strong cavalry can absolutely turn a battle on their own. But as the game went on, they became less and less useful. You kept them at the back, because you could create your own cavalry that could do the job just as well. But these days, the faction leaders are real powerhouses that you want to be getting involved in the fighting as far as possible. And yeah, you can choose them. So you've got Emperor Karl Franz, who's basically just, well, he starts off just a bloke on the ground who's an incredibly powerful melee bloke. And you can actually kind of upgrade him to have a mount of various descriptions. Because yeah, they kind of all start off on the ground, but you can unlock unique mounts for them. Because they kind of level up and they've got some XP, we'll get into that later. However, there is also Balthazar Gelt here, powerful Law of Metal wizard, who 1, gets a flying thing, and 2, has magic. And I kind of want to show off the magic, so if we're doing the Empire, therefore it's a bit of a traditional Total War experience, so let's enjoy some magic at the same time.
Secessionists, hostile to the election of Emperor Karl Franz, are trying to form a breakaway province to the south. We need a stable empire if you are to study the arcane texts. You must put an end to their senseless revolt. To the north, Boris Todbringer of Middenheim a bitter rival of the recent election, plots openly against the Emperor. Be warned that should diplomacy fail, war with Todbringer will be unavoidable. Be sure to build your forces. In all the Empire, there is none more powerful than you, Supreme Patriarch. Show the Emperor's enemies your arcane might.
Some things in Total War never change, so for the first few turns I do expect to be issued missions that will point me in the right direction. So my first mission as the Empire, enemies gather to strike against us once more, attack first, deny them the opportunity to reach full strength, objective defeat an army belonging to the following faction battle, the Secessionists, and that gets me a pile of money, yes. Very traditional. So, even though I am in fact the newly crowned Emperor, though to be honest I'm not actually the newly crowned Emperor at all, I'm just like his wizard or whatever. The newly crowned Emperor, I don't know, he's a bit of a fop, because in this universe, he's basically going to stay inside Altdorf and never bloody leave. Because I'm just going to go around as his wizard, and that's going to be absolutely fine. So this is our empire, but to be honest, we actually only own a single flipping city. This is all we own. And I quite like that. I've always liked the Total War games better when you like start off with a very small number of cities and therefore you have to kind of build up. Because then you really learn to micromanage a settlement and then you learn to manage an empire as it grows. So I've always typically preferred the starting points for the base game of Total War than like the DLC. Because the DLCs in Total War very often like start you off with like a massive empire. And I never quite like that as much. I like building it all for myself. So here we are in Altdorf, and my one army led by Balthasar Gelt. Now the first thing you'll probably notice down there in my army is Balthasar Gelt is indeed 1. Everyone else has like strength 90 or whatever, but Balthasar Gelt, he is just literally 1 bloke. So we'll get into his magic when we get into a battle. Everything else kind of makes sense to me for the most part. This is another good reason to choose the humans. Yes, I vaguely understand what's going on. Spearmen, good against horses obviously. Swordsmen, good against shields. Some crossbowmen, excellent. We'll kind of put them into skirmish mode. We've got outriders, armor-piercing missiles, so horses but holding guns. Fine, good skirmishers. A mortar, excellent. We've got a little catapult thingy for the back. And great swords, presumably by far my most powerful little starting unit. Yes, you guys are very, very strong indeed. Actually, interesting, their melee attack is not much more powerful than like basic swordsmen. It's just that they've got way more armor. Now, really useful tip, by the way, for when you start playing this game. When you turn VSync on in this game, and I'm not sure if they're going to fix this before launch, but like I'm playing on like the final patch before launch, and it's still kind of an issue. If you turn VSync on, everything starts flickering like crazy. The way I fixed that was to put the game into windowed mode. Running it in windowed seemed to fix that. So if you have problems with this game on launch day, put it into windowed mode. That may well help. So, the way this all works, by the way, is cities are no longer centralised, instead they're scattered around. The territory of Reichland is unfortunately held largely by secessionists and is made up of 4 towns. So even though this area over here is indeed part of Reichland, I don't actually own all of it. I just own Altdorf. The other bits are occupied. If I want to own the whole of Reichland, I'm going to have to take back these 3 bits from the other lads. And that means right now I can't do much with Altdorf. It's a level 2 city and I can use kind of like bonus populations because population grows over time to increase up to like subsequent levels. That's kind of like, you know, the traditional size of the city. I'm not sure if this has to have a port, by the way, or if that's just what this starts with. You generally get like a choice of how you want to upgrade it, but once you go down one route, you can only have one thing. So like imagine like a traditional Total War city where you can choose between like a port or a farm or a trader, but once you've picked that, you can only go further up that tech tree, and if you want to go down another route, it's going to have to be in a different town, so everything's a bit like not centralised. We've also got ourselves like some basic recruitment facilities here. Yep, a rally field, and if I go up to the next level, obviously I can go up to the next level of this too, and that means I'll get a barracks, and that means I can start recruiting things like Empire Captain, I'm guessing that's naval, handgunners, yep, armor-piercing missiles, very, very useful, and great swords, which right now I cannot. Taxing, interestingly, seems to have been simplified a little bit. These days, like, there doesn't seem to be tax rates, there is just straight-up tax or no tax. It's either all the tax or none of the tax whatsoever. So we'll tax for now. Population just grows over time, and obviously buildings have an impact on that, so it's going up 30 per turn. When it gets to 100, that means you get a surplus point. Surplus points can be spent, obviously upgrading this settlement, but once you've unlocked these other towns, we'll also be able to upgrade them as well. So basically you have to choose which areas you want to grow, because they all have to be done individually. That's kind of the limiting factor. Rather than like a total amount of population like it used to be, now it's actually done via like the surplus population system, which I quite like. Also, I quite like how it really feels like you can travel quite a big distance in one go, even though like I've got a lot of people who aren't on horses here. Recruitment's also very different to what I remember, though I should caveat what I'm saying by pointing out I've really put my time into Medieval 2 and Rome and very briefly dabbled with Empire. So, like, this may well have been the case in, like, Shogun 2 and Rome 2 and whatever else, like, for ages. But this is all new to me. So, these days, settlements actually have built-in garrisons. You don't need to worry about garrisoning forces. It's just like a settlement just seems to have a built-in garrison. My understanding from reading like the little kind of in-game help menus is as you improve your settlement, you can invest in it to make this garrison better. So you've got kind of like a built-in army to defend a settlement. You don't need to worry about kind of garrisoning troops, which is fine. Maybe I personally prefer the system in Medieval 2 where, like, you know, you get free garrison troops, but you still get to choose them yourself. But what have you, this system works just fine, and that means you don't need to worry about that. Instead, you just recruit with your army, and you recruit actually out in the field based on what's available here, so you don't need to bother like going into an army and joining up. I can just click on the recruit unit once I've gone into this army, and as long as I'm in an area that lets me actually recruit, I can recruit straight away. So you know what, let's just dive into a battle, because right now I don't even know what spells the level 1 Balthazar Gelt even knows. So as this is all new to me, I would say let's head over here ready to take this guy on, but not actually fight him yet. Balthazar Gelt runs over here, and let's recruit a couple of people who I can recruit on the road, because isn't that lovely? Yes, get some extra swordsmen, get some extra spearmen. How many more can I recruit? So I can recruit all these guys. Okay, so that would require 2 turns to get, but I can basically get, no, not you. Not you, little guy that tells me how he works. I can figure out how a swordsman and a spearman work. So by next turn, I'll have 3 extra units floating around in my army. Very, very nice. Oh, that's nice. Sorry, I didn't see that up there. So yes, you've actually got local recruitment capacity. It actually tells me how much more I can do there. So 3 units coming in next turn, and then we can take on these guys and move straight onto their crappy little settlement. Meanwhile, there's nothing I can do at Altdorf just for the moment, because until I've got the surplus people, I can't grow it. And of course, because I'm recruiting out in the field, I don't need to bother recruiting here instead. Now, I did just notice we can change the name of these settlements. Altdorf. Johndorf. There we are. We shall now all live in Johndorf. And before we end the turn, let's figure out who else is around. So obviously, we're taking out the successionists that hold the rest of our own territory here in... Wait, where am I living? Where do I live? I live in Reichland. That's fine. Germany. Got it. Yeah, the whole thing's a bit European. We're in Reichland over here. I think I saw on the map, like, hang on, if we just kind of go out to the strategic overview map. So here's Reichland, so Germany, and just over to the west of Germany, there's Ardennes, Lyon, Bordeaux, and what's blatantly Bastille. I didn't realise that Warhammer was quite such an overt Europe metaphor, at least in the Empire, so alright. But yeah, we've got to make friends with our other guys, because these guys are technically part of the Empire, but they're kind of independent and they're not really sure about us. So let's see if we can be friends with them. So these lads up here, obviously, who I'll be wanting to bring into the Empire and make mine, right now I'm too flimsy and they don't really like me that much. They're just kind of, you know, pretty much neutral to me. They don't really care that much in the slightest. However, I may wish to try and bring them into, for example, a non-aggression pact, which has a moderate chance to succeed. So, if I put a non-aggression pact on the table, and maybe throw in a little bit of money as well, so I'm going to offer them some money, just to kind of, you know, sweeten the deal a little bit. So, 500 gold and a non-aggression pact for a non-aggression pact. Let's just be nice to Middenland, just for the moment. See if they're willing to go for that. They have accepted your offer. Beautiful. Sigmar was not just a warrior, but a diplomat too. I take his example and agree. So I've just basically given away 500 gold, but I've just also secured peace with the Middenland lot for the moment. Now that, to my mind, is worth it, because Middenland is right bloody there. So that's probably for the best. So with my northern flank secure and my army reinforcing, let's just end here for the moment. There's a lot of factions, by the way. Ooh, they've decided to come for me. Alright. Okay, so what do they actually have? Are we ready to take these guys on? Actually, if we're on the defensive, I think that gives us an advantage. We've got a wizard, we've got cavalry, we've got a mortar. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. We can take these guys on. Let's fight our first battle. And another new thing here, of course, we have got magic floating around, because there is a magic mana pool. 21 out of 31. And are there any winds of magic? Recharge 1 power every 6 seconds. Okay, it feels like there's powerful winds of magic right now, which suits me, because I've got a magic user, and I don't believe they do. So therefore, this feels like a good starting point. Or, like, you used to be able to wait in Total War to change the weather, but to my mind, the weather never really made much difference to anything, so it wasn't worth doing. I just always waited for sunny weather, because then everything looked nicer and I could clearly see what was going on. Or I can indeed start the deployment now, and it feels like with the winds of magic on my side, that will give my wizard the advantage. Now, where to deploy? We want to be up on a hillside because we've got ourselves some nice big mortars and so forth. Ooh, up here feels quite good. Yes, they'll need to come up the hill if they want to kind of take us on up here. So, unsurprising usual stuff here. Like, all of this feels like immediately familiar to me. Get my infantry, line them up at the front. Get my crossbowmen, line them right here, but put them into skirmish mode. They've got a kind of nice little kind of Empire War style cone that they can shoot into, which I always quite like. I always think that actually works quite nice. They've actually got to have like a proper facing. They can't just like, you know, shoot something that's over here, because if they did, then, you know, they would kind of shoot their own guys in the side of the face, which would be a problem. Right, one mortar up here. Let's just get them lined up nicely, so then they can... They're on fire at will, right? Yeah, they're at fire at will. Balthazar Gelt himself, one bloke, but don't underestimate him. He's bloody strong. So we'll put him at the back for now, and then he can just kind of help out there. His little kind of blue circle is, I believe, kind of like his confidence thing. So, like, you know, he's inspiring morale. Though it's called leadership rather than morale now. And then finally we've got our outriders. Obviously, we'll be wanting them to just go and harass as early as possible, because they don't have cavalry, or, well, unless they've got their general. But if they've got general and cavalry, he'll be heavy cavalry, so I'll be faster than him, so that will be fine. So, with that done, start the battle. Now, where are they? Here's our guys. Right, now, pause for a second, have a look, see at what they've got. Ah, yes, just as I suspected, this guy over here is indeed just one guy on the ground. Don't underestimate him, though. He's bloody tough. So they're going to start walking up towards us. If you hold spacebar, it gives you kind of like the range that your guys are in and like where they're pointing. So as a result of that, I now know what I need to do, which is I just need to ever so slightly reposition my lads just to turn them a little bit. So just slightly redirect my cannons, slightly redirect my crossbowmen, and send my horses out into the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I quite like the new kind of like a hold spacebar system. That works quite nicely. There's also a new slow motion mode, which I quite like. If you kind of want things to keep moving, but you kind of want to be able to like, you know, micromanage very efficiently, slow motion mode is quite good. So as well as like speeding up, there is also a slow motion mode, which is very, very nice. Now get my mortars at the back. And as soon as my mortars are ready to go, obviously very soon they'll be entering mortar range, and then pretty much they'll just enter a massive kill zone as they head up to me. And then I'm going to harass them with my cavalry to try and distract them as well as I can. While they're going into position, let's have a look at Balthazar Gelt and what he knows. He knows one thing right now. He knows bombardment, part of the Searing Doom School. Good lord, he's also a master of dramatically naming things, just so you know. Ah, there goes my first little round of mortar fire as well. Let's just kind of move forward just to catch that landing on the enemy. Where's the shot? In it comes. In slow bay watch artillery motion. And... come on, hit something good, 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 hit something good. And you hit something at least. Well done. So we've done quite significant damage to those guys straight away. We killed a few of them immediately. But occasionally they do just seem to like get themselves up from the impact, which is nice. Now what are those guys doing? Ah, their guys are actually attacking my horses. Right, guys, get back, get back, get back. I don't want my horses under fire. And they're firing on that. That's okay. Now, my own thing. Let's just put this into normal speed for the moment. My own cannons can focus on... they can focus on this guy, actually. Actually, they probably won't do much damage against that guy. Let's have them focus on this guy in the middle, because then they'll kind of do a good amount of damage. My horses have taken, like, a little bit of damage, but not so much. They can just kind of start heading in this direction, and then, actually, you know what? I could just have them straight up attack these lads. Actually, screw it. That's probably for the best. Can I put you into melee mode? Right, they're now in melee mode. And they're just going to go over there and charge them. I'm going to assume horses are still good at charging. So, oi! Screw you, bastard. Stop attacking my horses. You know what? I'd say you're now going to be... oh, you're going to be in trouble now. Oh, dear. Fire your pistols at them. Ride the bastards down. Exposed flank. And units really break if they've got exposed flanks. That's so important these days. And now you are going to be utterly, utterly, utterly screwed. Now I just back off, of course, because you just want to kind of, you don't want to lose the impact. They're getting a bit closer to me up here. And now they're kind of, those guys have like been taken out of the game at this point. So now I'm just going to ride away and leave them to it. Alright, now, hang on, pause for a second. Are you in skirmish mode? You are in skirmish mode, fine. Balthazar Gelt, you can at this point do a massive kind of, yeah, dropping stuff on these guys thing. So if you just do that there, how far away can you do that? Oh, I should have started doing that ages ago. He could have done that really a long time ago. Oh, well, never mind. Those guys, are they already broken? They're wavering. I'm not sure, like, broken seems to be a thing anymore. Like, they are clearly flashing, so I think they are going away. So as these two guys are both going in this direction, let's call down some magic right in front of them. And they're going to run straight into it. Right, off you go. So Balthazar Gelt does some magic. Nice. And our guys go in. And I think we completely missed. We totally missed. Right, pin them. Pin them. Balthazar Gelt, pin them. You. Forward. You. Forward. Balthazar Gelt. Now, that's actually on cooldown. Well done, me. Where? Hang on. Slow motion. Where are my horses? My horses are broken. Well done. Alright, I've used my horses really bloody effectively on this occasion. Right, slow motion. All we need to do is just, now that those guys are pinned, this right here is the perfect place for them. Alright? Balthazar Gelt can now use his true power to just basically nail these guys a bit. And there we go. Massive. Now I've kind of killed some of my own blokes there too. But never mind. Oh, that really didn't feel like it did much damage. Huh, interesting. Right, guys, would you mind... Okay, you guys are doing really well. You guys go for those guys. You guys really can't do much, can you? Yeah, just go for those guys to make sure they don't come back. You guys go... No, you. Now they're fleeing. Go and join these guys. Balthazar Gelt, are you ready for another round? You totally are. Keep going for it. More dropping, you know, doom from heaven or whatever the hell it is you do exactly. And down it comes.
As long as we draw breath,
there we are. Damage sustained. Our wizard is doing very, very nicely there. You just keep shooting those guys. They're going to be completely broken. Right, my archers, skirmish mode off. Let's get you round the back to take out these guys. Where's their leader? Okay, he's decided to come over here. That's fine. No, that's swordsman. Where's their leader? Hang on, I need to locate their leader because he's really important. He's right in there. Good, that works. If we've got two lads pinned on him, get the great swordsman here, get my normal swordsman out of here and get them moving over here. You lot, move over here as quickly as possible. This is all going to work. How's Balthazar? You ready for another round? You totally are. This is good. Fire into the back of them. They'll now turn round to get into position. These lads come over here and then are going to charge into the flank. So now we're shooting them in the back. They're being attacked in the rear. They're about to be charged in the rear. And that's it. They're done. Classic Total War tactics work very, very nicely. Their guy is basically in trouble. They've decided to flee. I could end the battle, or at this point, of course, I could just ride them all down. And in come my nice cavalry, just shooting a couple of lads in the back, but mainly just battering them a bit. So my missile cavalry can just kind of follow these lads around, shooting them all to death. I'm not sure if the enemy general has actually died yet or not, but I'd say we've done good enough damage to them now. End the battle. Decisive victory. Marvellous. So we deployed 417. We lost 127. I think that's an alright result, really. Decisive victory. Good. I'd say we lost a few. I think we lost some cavalry, which is valuable. We gained a good amount of loot off that. That's presumably the mission's been passed. And I've gained a weapon. Okay, that's another thing that we gain in this. I think Helmut Ludenhoff actually died, given he's got a little cross there. Or possibly he's captured, because he's still on the map, so I'm not 100% sure. We now, of course, have the typical choice at the end of a battle. We can allow these warriors to return to their homelands for a ransom. Despite dipping into their treasury, the enemy will appreciate such a deed. So therefore we will gain the following effect. Pardon captive turns for 1. So men are reluctant to join the rank of this army, and casualty replacement rate minus 5%. Because I'm too merciful. So people won't want to join me, but I'll get some extra money. I could execute the captive then for 5 turns. The men are feeling confident after cleaning up stragglers from a recent battle. Leadership +4, and the foe will not look kindly on it, but honestly I don't care. They're secessionists and I'll finish off that faction soon. Or I could take on the captives, force these troops to change allegiance and allow them to serve in your army. Ooh, that's tempting. Units replenished by 16%. Let's go for the execute. That'll be fun. Execute. There you go. Screw you all. And the mission has been successful. Further 1,000 treasury coming in as a result of that.
It is important to act quickly if you have any intention of securing lasting authority over the Empire. The people must learn that open dissent cannot be tolerated. Capture Grunberg and snuff out the resistance there.
Got it, random person with bird. Wait a second, is that the same random person with a bird as in Warcraft? Why are you in Warhammer and Warcraft? That's a bloody amazing magic power you've got. So, Grunberg, we've now been tasked with taking this over. Let's see what we've got going on here. Garrison is couple of swordsmen and 3 ranks of spearmen. So we could either take out this bloke or we could move straight on. Arguably, I'd say we're better off moving straight on. So I get 2,000 money if I build any of these. I thought I already had a rally field. I swear I already had one of those. And the enemy did indeed die. Beautiful. Helmut Ludenhoff is dead. Marvellous. Follower gained a pit fighter. Ah, Balthazar Gale. Because, of course, Balthazar, though he's a magician, can actually get involved in the fighting, though it's not really his speciality. And he gets melee +7 from having a pit fighter, part of his retinue. A militiaman as well. Unit experience +1 for infantry recruits. Very, very nice. And he gained the Sword of Striking. We already saw that. Melee attack +2, charge bonus +4%. Okay, so let's go over to him actually. Let's just focus on him for a second, given we've just been talking about him. So, down here, of course, when we hover over him, he is Balthazar Gelt. He's our big hero. Character details. His weapon is now the Sword of Striking, though if I earn more weapons, I can choose whichever one I want. I can also, like, get armor for him, a talisman, enchanted items, arcane items, a mount. None of those will actually have those. I'm not sure he can have a mount. Maybe he can. Oh, yes, I think I saw he can. He can have like a flying Pegasus, actually, which is very, very cool. And once you've got many followers, you can actually kind of swap them in and out. You can have like a total of 6 by the looks of it. Beautiful. And you can see there his base stats plus what he's gained extra on account of his current kind of like loadout. See, there's a lot more flexibility to change the loadout. It's almost a little bit like, yeah, the heroes in Warcraft 3, which again, I actually quite like. He's also got skill points. Let's go over to the skills menu. So basically what you've got is 3 different branches that he can go down together with a bunch of like little kind of special missions that just kind of come unlocked as he levels up. And fairly typical, you just kind of have to work your way down these trees. If you specialise, obviously you can get to powerful stuff relatively early. So we've got over here, choice between 3. Searing Doom. So a spray of sizzling silver slithers rain down from the sky and impale the caster's enemy. Honestly, it didn't feel like it did that much to me, but alright, fine, what have you. And as time goes on, we can unlock more spells for him as well. This is him as a leader, inspiring presence. There are lords that radiate power, confidence, and fear, inspiring their followers to great or terrible deeds. So, leadership aura effect. So basically, an army within these characters' aura will receive leadership bonuses, i.e. morale bonuses. So his army will kind of stand and fight better. Or Route Marcher. He who knows the land and its secrets will travel faster and further than those who don't. Campaign movement range plus 10%. So him as a manager of an army. Well, you know what? If we're going to have a wizard, let's have a bloody wizard. Searing Doom. And next time I've got a skill point, as a result, I can kind of start looking at his different abilities as well. So now we've got this bloke standing here, Hans Zintler, but there is also these guys down here who look like from the little bar, they're very, very weak indeed. But let's head over to Jondorf and see if we can build the thing that it was suggested we ought to be building. Oh, sorry, my mistake. Because I only had to tick next to the training field, I didn't have a rally field yet. So, I could have actually started working on that already, but I haven't, never mind. So, we may as well kind of get that in production now. So that means I'll be able to produce more crossbowmen in a couple of turns, and I'll also get a big pile of money for constructing a technology building. Basically, that's just a free mission to say, hey, by the way, you know you can build stuff in your settlements. Yes, game. Yes, I do. Or rather, I do now. Missed it before. So, now a choice. I can go and kill this guy, or I could just go and take this settlement. Let's go and take this settlement. It looks like it's extremely flimsy, so let's just go over to that and see how that works.
No peace, just war.
So, army here versus 2 groups here. Because, of course, the garrison of the town is separate to the army that sits within it. So, we've got this basic army here, which is Rudi Nussbacher, just kind of a random general that's been appointed at random, I'm guessing, because we killed the last one, together with the remnant of his crossbowmen and his spearmen. And then we've got just presumably just a random bloke that's just kind of like a captain rather than an actual general who is in the town, and their garrison is indeed just some random chappies and some spearmen. Yeah, just some basic swordsmen, basic spearmen. Feels like it's a pretty close fight, I think. Actually, it's almost it's a bit odd that, like, I've got, like, you know, the big green bar, he's got the tiny red bar. Yeah, the game's still saying it's, like, you know, balance of power is just in my favour, but not quite. Let's go attack anyway, see what attacking a town looks like, given I've got this nice mortar here. Interestingly, it looks like I won't actually be assaulting the town here. Rather, I'll be assaulting this army out in the field, and then after that, the town's reinforcements will be coming to join them, which is interesting. Now, I'm not sure if they're also going to come to me. On the off chance they do come to me, let's get set up on this nice hillside here. Also, I've no idea who this Sigmar chap is, but they're all really bloody proud that they're his heirs. As for the Winds of Magic, however, I start off with 10 magic, and I'm going to be getting an extra one every 6 seconds. That sounds fine to me. Start the deployment, and start the battle. Now, what are they going to be doing? They are actually going to come at me. Which is strange, because they're the defending army. Really would have thought they'd just, like, you know, hold the high ground and not bother. But, alright, if they've decided they want to come and deal with that, that's fine by me. Let's send my Outriders out over here to actually just see if we can just kind of get some pot shots in at these lads. And we've already got our mortars firing. We're going to get a lot of fire on them before they get anywhere close to us. And let's figure out where Balthazar's range is going to be. So pretty much the moment they reach the bottom of the valley, we can just start dropping metal on their heads. But arguably, it's better that they actually don't. Because, like, it's more powerful if you sort of wait for them to be pinned by your troops. Oh, that was a good shot. Very nicely done. So you can kind of see there, by the way, like, you know, they've got their health and they've also got their morale. So the morale drops when they get hit by the mortar shot, obviously. Let's just head over here and just start seeing what our... Yep, see if we can just kind of just fire at will. Fire at will if you can. We can just, yep, fire at the back of them. Beautiful. They're a little bit worried. Oh, yes. We're already firing at the back of them and they don't know what's going on. They're about to start firing at me, so back off. Those guys were under fire for a second. They're... Oh! No, okay, hang on. No, stop. I don't know where the stop button is. So now those guys can just kind of go over there and just sort of start firing at random. Beautiful. Their army's already confused. They don't know what to do. Right, pause for a second. You lads, are you in skirmish mode? If not, you should be. And then Balthazar's, his magic's almost full up already. In which case, you are spearmen and you are great swordsmen. Swordsmen will have the advantage against spearmen. And then you're actually the leader. That's fine. So we'll just send some basic lads against you, some basic swordsmen, because you will take damage. We'd like to encircle you. You are swordsmen, go up against swordsmen. You are swordsmen, go up against spearmen. And then our spearmen at the side can just start a flanking motion, ready to zoom in on the side of those lads. And as soon as the fight is joined, Balthazar Gelt can actually start getting involved. Meanwhile, actually, you lads head over here and start getting involved with the rest of the fight. And what are you guys aiming at? They're aiming in the wrong situation. So our guys can just basically just start firing at these lads. He's drawn these guys' attention perfectly. So we'll put you into skirmish mode to make sure you don't actually get hit at all. Our lads go forward. Beautiful. This is going exactly as I wanted it to. Those lads are now pinned in place. Balthazar Gelt is ready to start raining down pain and destruction and chaos on them. Just make sure that they are properly pinned. And this works. There we are, right there. Right there. Let's just put some magic down on them. And that will work very nicely. In fact, actually, I probably shouldn't focus on that flank. I should focus on the other flank. Because over here, we've got reinforcements ready to sweep in. We're going to use the numerical advantage. So, Balthazar Gelt, there we are. In comes the magic doom thing. They are going to be extremely worried in a moment. Nice. Back to normal speed. Oh, they've got more guys coming in that way, mind. Okay. Apparently, they're going to have loads of guys over this way. Okay, never mind. Guys. No. Pause for a second. You. Go after these guys. Head over here and just start firing at them. That's just some random spear infantry. We don't need to worry about that. What I need to do instead right now, pin you guys over here. Balthazar Gelt, meanwhile, focuses on the massive number of enemies that are just kind of pinned on this one fight. Because they think they've got the advantage, because they've got like the numerical advantage. But I'm just going to kind of throw magic at them, and it's all going to be fine. You, turn this way. And, oh yes, Oh, they're getting around the back of me, mind. Okay, this is a bit problematic, actually. We've got guys coming around the back of us here. So you take out them. These guys are surrounded and are going to be worried in a second about this. I really like the new slow mode. So they're now really surrounded, and I suspect they're going to be the ones to break first, because they're just crappy spearmen anyway. So they shouldn't be that strong. These guys are in trouble, and I don't really have much to throw at them. Okay, pull one of it. Yes, okay, good. Now, you, go over here, take these guys. You, straight onto these guys, because those guys are now wavering, so this is fine. And now, actually, one of you stay on these lads. One of you, no, the other one of you, stay on here. Right, this is all going to work fine. These guys are going to go into combat. You're going to go into that. You are, yes, this is not perfect, but it'll do. Keep firing on these lads, because that's where I've got 2 of their lads pinned. You, head over here, and actually just, could you just charge into the back of these lads, please? That would actually be great if you could just kind of get into the back of these lads for a second. Just get over here. I've got swordsmen coming in. And then Balthazar Gelt, are you ready for... You will be ready for another attack in a second. That's already coming down and utterly destroying these lads. Like having a wizard on my side, by the way. And that is... Oh, still 9 seconds away. Bloody hell. Right. What's going on? You are now going to... Okay, now we just wrap... Okay, we're rolling them up now. We're rolling them up. Get one of you over here. One of you over here. Reinforce. Take out their leader. Balthazar Gelt. He's ready for another drop. Drop some magic on those bastards. Yeah, you think you can flank me? Good luck flanking a wizard. Yeah, that's right. That's what happens when you try to flank a wizard. And these guys will break easily, because while they've snuck around the back of me, their flanks are completely exposed. And that is about all she wrote. I do like it. The new wizards, the wizards kind of work really nicely in like how kind of flanks are now so important. It kind of makes battles end in that kind of dramatic Rome Total War way, where like you can just like roll up a battle line really easily, which I always quite liked, actually. Right, you guys back off here. Balthazar Gelt, who hasn't even gotten involved in a fight yet. I think these guys are running in this direction. Give them something to think about while they're going home, Balthazar. Got my timing just about right there. Stupid gits. It's good classic Total War stuff. It feels really familiar to me. Even as someone who's way more familiar with Rome Total War and Medieval 2, it feels right and Total War-y. That's what's so lovely about it. In fact, it feels really classic Total War. It really feels a bit more like Rome than Medieval 2 in some ways, which I actually approve of. So thanks to that, I've leveled up as my main kind of hero. Balthazar Gelt goes up to level 3. That's a decisive victory. I have captured 68 enemies, and they've actually got nothing left. Excellent. Well, obviously, it's a town fight, so yeah, everyone ends up dead. Perfect. And with that, we've captured the settlement. Options are to occupy the damn thing, to loot and occupy it. You get yourself a bit of money, but obviously there's province instability, because they don't have the fact that you've looted kind of what's really your own town. You could sack the damn place. Again, instability, but a load of money. Or, if you really want to, raise the damn thing to the ground. All buildings destroyed, the settlement is torched. Let's not do that, let's occupy it. This is going to be my heartland. Let's occupy Grunberg. And Grunberg shall be mine. 1,000 free money for that. Perfect, mission successful. The enemy has been killed in battle, again, perfect.
The Empire remains divided, and marauding greenskins still threaten your lands. Further afield, there are rumors of a dark force rising in the east, spreading the taint of undeath. You must remain vigilant.
Oh, I'm sure that's just a silly rumour. There's no vampire count. No such thing, silly Raven Man. And my new objective is, of course, to take back some areas. Occupy, loot, raise, or sack 2 different settlements.
Middenheim is sending help to the secessionists in an effort to destabilize the Empire. Intercept their reinforcements and demonstrate to Todbringer that there is but one master of Reichland.
Whoa. Hang on. Middenhelm, I thought we had a flipping non-aggression pact against Middenhelm. Well, what a bunch of gits. And that'll get me a Sword of Striking, which I've kind of already got, but never mind. I'll also get my first hero at Jondorf, a Battle Wizard. Huzzah. So yes, if I go there, I have to win the Battle of Bloodpine Woods. Marvellous. So, what have we got over in Bloodheim Woods? Reinforcements are expected, but we do indeed have one just bloke, a general of the Empire, 3 units of spearmen, 2 of swordsmen, a crossbowmen, 2 mortars, and a Hellstrom rocket battery, and reinforcements expected. Blimey. That'll be a bit tougher. And with that, we have taken Grunberg nice and easily. And that means we've got Grunberg over here. Grunberg is just a level 1 basic settlement. But when we've got some surplus population, i.e. in, well actually it looks like next turn, we could grow it up to the next level of a minor settlement. Though it can only go up to level 3 because it's just a town, unlike my capital which can go up to level 5. They actually come with some cattle pastures, which actually could theoretically be pretty useful, because that actually has got my growth up quite significantly. They give me casualty replenishment rate plus 4%, and also growth plus 30, so that means my growth per turn has jumped from what would have been 40, I'm assuming 30 base plus 10 for Grunberg, plus another 30 on top of that, because of the cattle pastures, which can indeed be upgraded as well to cow pens and then a cattle ranch. Beautiful. So I'll keep that, because that's quite useful, and then once I've got up to level 2, I'll unlock a new settlement here, so I'll be able to kind of choose something else to build in Grunberg. And more importantly, if we go to our army, you can see the replenish rate. That kind of just happens on its own. You don't need to like retrain troops anymore, it just sort of happens. So like, you know, by next turn, we'll have kind of massively refreshed our swordsmen and our spearmen. Obviously, they're easier to replenish because I've actually got a garrison of sword and spearmen here in this city, so therefore I can just kind of like, you know, draft men in from that. I'll get a few horses as well from somewhere. Oh, and I'll even actually top up my mortar strength, because I guess it's not the mortars, it's the guys actually using them. So pretty much this army will be back up to full strength by next turn. And as I'm actually on a massive surplus right now, let's actually see if we can recruit some extra folks. So I'm in a city, so I can recruit some local folks. Obviously we've got some swordsmen going on here. Why not build up a much better army while we're passing through? But I can also acquire some people from the global recruitment pool because I'm in a city. So again, yet more flipping swordsmen. Beautiful. The global pool, however, takes a little bit longer, I think, because they actually have to come from Jondorf, so that would actually take 2 turns to produce. So instead, I'm just going to get myself 2 more swordsmen, and I don't think I really need spearmen. Spearmen seem like pretty flimsy, because right now I haven't really run into much cavalry. So if I do run into cavalry, I've already got 2 spearmen, so that's fine. Let's get nothing but swordsmen, have a good, solid forward line. Now, there's one more thing I can do at Jondorf as well, which is obviously we are not just restricted to Balthazar Gelt. We can have generals as well. Generals don't just pop up anymore. They actually have to be kind of chosen and trained and selected. So if I go over here, I can recruit myself a lord. Can't do heroes yet. We'll get to them in time. But if I recruit myself a lord, I get a choice of people who could be elevated to the rank of lord. So here we go. So each additional lord will increase your total army upkeep by 2%. And I can't get Karl Franz on the field yet, though I will be able to later. I've got to actually have a confederacy with the other kind of human imperial factions first. So we've got, you're all in some way disabled. This is interesting. My new king is going to be in some way kind of misshapen, maimed, or ugly. Perfect. So local leadership -5 or public order -1. Brilliant. Or melee attack -6. Ooh, this one is armless, sir. Maimed arm. Okay. So this guy is not good in a fight himself. However, he does actually have increased leadership. So that's not too bad. I mean, I'd rather have that. I'd rather have like a morale bonus. Yeah, I'll go for that. Morale bonus, but remember, don't send Elgar Huldolf into actual battle, potentially. Let's just not do that. So that's this guy here at Jondorf, but we can't do anything with him just yet. He's not quite trending, he just seems to like pop onto the map immediately, but he's got kind of like no movement points this turn, so we can't really do much with him just yet. Instead, we're just going to leave him there for the moment, and we'll pick up with him next time. And indeed, we'll pick up with everything next time, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the end of Total War Warhammer for now, but let's do a mini-series, because I want to dive into this at least a little bit more. So, more Total War Warhammer to come, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been the really rather excellent, and to my mind, very reminiscent of the Total Wars that I particularly love, Rome and Medieval 2, Total War Warhammer. Thank you very much, and goodbye. What the hell? Alright, we've now got a Scottish zombie travelling with us. Oh, he's actually quite good now. And he's got over his drinking problem. Which is... Oh, he eats human flesh. He's got some decent carrying capacity. Okay, fine, he eats people. But come on, let's not be flipping judgmental about this.